Gore Vidal has had an extensive career as an author, playwright, screenwriter, and essayist. He is known for wisdom and insight where none prevails, and has also been known to cause fear in the heart of any TV news host who dares to cross it. He now joins us from Los Angeles, California. Welcome to INN, Gore Vidal.
Happy to be there.
Yesterday was your 81st birthday. We'd like to congratulate you and hope that you're around for quite some time to provide us with more of your insights.
Well, keep your fingers crossed.
You're endorsing the World Can't Wait rally tomorrow, October 5th, which includes student walkouts, marches, and speeches designed to raise awareness in dozens of cities across the country. Let's say we do drive out the Bush regime. What comes next?
Well, it couldn't be worse, so that is the negative approach. I think, well, we've got elections coming up, but then we have a lot to worry about. Will Diebold's balloting machinery, the electronic machines, be hacked or not by interested parties? We don't even know if our votes are ever again, to be honestly, recorded. It is such a mess, and I have predicted it'll be at least 100 years before they undo the mess that has been made in the last 5 or 6 years. It is just intolerable, both to the electoral system in the United States and to the Constitution for which it stands. It's going to take a lot of goodwill and serious thinking to start to get back the Bill of Rights. Due process of law, as my grandfather used, that was his mantra. He said everything in our country is based upon that one phrase. You cannot deprive somebody of life, property, etc. without due process of law. And now we're not even allowed to have it if they've seized you and called you a terrorist and locked you up for 20 years. This is a very strange state of affairs for the United States to be in. So I'm optimistic. And people say, well, demonstrations that don't matter. Well, there was one, I remember, that mattered, which ended the Vietnam War. And it was the most surprising thing. There had been all kinds of, anguish about the war, and there had been demonstrations of one kind or another. But there was one demonstration that brought down the government. In fact, at the end of it, Lyndon Johnson said he would not run for president. And that was when Wall Street marched. Can you imagine all those Brooks Brothers suits trotting down Wall Street toward Trinity Church? But suddenly it meant he lost the business community, the only thing he respected. And so he left office. I don't think this one, even though he has an MBA from Harvard, would get it. But perhaps he would.
You've been stumping for Democrats around the country in certain key races. Are you also asking for the mandatory spine operation if they do regain control of Congress?
Well, they've been in a bind. First of all, the Republicans have all the money on earth. They have all of corporate America's money. And with that, you can buy a bunch of, lunk-headed lawyers and put them in the House and the Senate. And with that, you can just stop anything from happening. I mean, there will be no oversight reviews by committees, as the Constitution requires. The government has been shut down because all of these chorus people have been added to it. And mind you, some aren't too bad, but some are pretty hopeless. So you can't, even if Democrats had magnificent spines, how are they to be heard? They can't get any legislation going in the House or the Senate. They're blocked on every side. The Republican majority will refuse to hold a hearing or refuse to use subpoenas to make sure that you get, honest or reasonably honest, at least culpable witnesses. No, I don't think it's the fault of individual Democrats. And I am no fan of the two-party system. I mean, I've always said we've only got one party, which is the party of property. And it's got two right wings. And it's pretty hopeless at getting most things done.
You recently endorsed the idea of another run for the presidency by Al Gore and said that Al should serve in the office in which we elected him once before. Do you think there's even a possibility of that?
Well, there's a possibility of everything, or anything. Yes, I think there is. He has the only issue that is all his own, and it's it's the preservation of the planet. If that isn't done, everything else is meaningless. So he is sincerely affixed to that theme and identified with it. And he did it all on his own without, I should think, any political calculation. He's a cousin of mine, but I've never met him. I've steered clear of him and other politicians in the family. But I think he's the best situated for what we're going through now. And no war lover, thank heavens.
Is there anything else you could say to our viewers to encourage them to get involved in tomorrow's October 5th event sponsored by the World Can't Wait?
Well, remember, these things, one leads to another. Wall Street didn't march just because they suddenly felt it was a great thing to do. They marched because they saw the effectiveness of other people marching. And suddenly, Wall Street, which was really the heart of the United States, since the business of America, as Mr. Coolidge said, is business. So once they did, it gave heart to a lot of people across the country, and it caused Lyndon Johnson not to run again, because he saw that he had lost the people he regarded as serious, the money people, the ones who have the most to lose if things go wrong. I think take that into account. If tomorrow's various demonstrations and marches work, even if they don't work, they send a signal that we don't like the government. And if we'd been thinking about this earlier, I would have proposed a recall system that when you get an administration that is palpably not only incompetent but dishonest and involving us in wars, which we have no business being in, and killing people and burning up the money supply, we should be able to recall them.